Well, hi guys. My name's Tom Abbott. I'm going to be your instructor here for Sport Management 401, Sport Economics. And just thought I'd like to welcome everybody tonight, tell you a little bit about the class, a little bit about me, a little bit about what we're going to be doing, and maybe get a little head start on what to expect. I've been teaching this class ever since its inception. Taught it the first time we ever offered it, and been hanging on with it ever since. And the one thing I can tell you for sure is that it's never been the same twice. We've always been able to tweak it and move it and do some interesting things every time. That's because I think the world of sports is so dynamic. Everything changes, and it always seems that there's something different we can talk about that allows us to illustrate the technical points, if you will, the business side of things, what we need to be looking at, and it's always something I like to try to do in the context of the moment in the world of sports. So that kind of thing I think will go on, and we'll keep doing that. Here at Post at the Malcolm Baldrige School, I'm generally the program manager for the business administration program, but I do cross over and teach this course in the sport management program, and I really enjoy it. It's part of it's just part of who I am and what I do. I'm also, as you may be able to tell, I'm part of the coaching staff at Post. I'm the assistant tennis coach for both the men's and women's teams. I do a lot of other things around the athletic department. I've been on search committees, work with the athletic director in a lot of the aspects of liaison with other sports and things like that. An informal liaison between the faculty and the athletic department, so that's a lot of fun. I have not just a background in tennis as a teaching pro and as a competitor. I've still been playing tournaments right up until a few years ago. I've been playing that sport for almost 50 years. I've played college soccer at a Division I level, so sports are a big part of my life. Academics are a big part of my life. I was a consultant and an executive for about 30 years, and then about 8 years ago I started teaching part-time, and 5 years ago I decided to come over and become a full-time professor, and it's been one of the most rewarding experiences I've had. So this is kind of a fun time for me. I get to combine everything, and it's rare that you get to do that. Back to the course at hand. What are we going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about sports, the business of sport. Very high level, though. We're going to try to keep things at such a perspective that you might normally not think of. Most of us are going to think of sports when we talk about them as participants or fans. And the reason I bring that up right away is it's going to be probably one of the initial difficulties that you'll have. And it's a caution I want to give everybody right away. If we can keep ourselves from thinking like fans and thinking like players and think more like, if we were talking about pro sports, general managers at least, or even more so owners, or maybe the mayor of a big city or the governor of a state, that's the level we want to keep looking at it from, because we're going to be talking about economic issues and big issues in sports. Maybe in my list of people I'll throw in think like a commissioner of a league. This is the level at which we're going to try to run our discussions, and I think that it's going to be a bit of a change for most of us, and you'll find that we all slip back into that fan mode, but it's something I want us all to be careful about. The course itself is going to run primarily around two things. There are a couple of written. I don't give tests per se. We're going to get some assignments in here. Written midterm or written final. They're going to be worth more than, obviously, the other assignments. The week's learning, though, just about every week is going to be done through the discussion board. So the discussion board, to me, in an online course is the classroom. It is where everything happens. It's very important that you take it seriously and that you participate as I say, early and often, and very substantive. So with the exception of this opening discussion board that you may see up right away where it says introduce yourself, they're all going to be graded. I will do my best to get back on the grading within a couple of days so that we know where we stand and what's there. I just don't throw up a number too for a grade. I like to try to give everybody an individual comment so you know what I'm thinking of and what I'm thinking of when I read your post. I will participate as needed. Don't think that I'm going to answer every post from every student. Just not going to do that. One, I don't think in some cases that it adds anything to the discussion. If I do think I can add to the discussion or ask a better question than the opening one, I will. But I'm not just going to jump in for the sake of jumping in. I want to get my participation to be meaningful just as I require yours to be meaningful. So that's very important to us. The discussion board can't say enough about it. That's where we're going to do most of our work. The other thing is the readings. I will provide you with readings from the Leeds and Von Allman text. It's a very good text. It's written well. It's got some great historical examples. We want to concentrate on the conceptual. Do not let the technical economic stuff scare you off. If you have any difficulties with that, I will let you know what we're going to talk about and what we're not going to talk about. And I probably should have mentioned that I talked about all my athletic background and my coaching background and things. My academic training is as an economist. I have degrees in economics and finance, so that's what's going on there. So I can, it's kind of like I can interpret that stuff, and we will take it as we need it. But also, really, don't forget that this is just as much an economics lesson as it is a sport management lesson, and that's what we're going to try to do. So that's really a really quick introduction to the course. If you have any questions about anything, please look at the course information, look at the syllabus. Every week, I try to do one or more of these video chats with you so that we can be up on what's going on. I think it helps me connect more with what's going on in the course. It helps maybe you connect a little bit more with what's going on with me, and we'll try to do that because that way I can see what's going on during the week, and maybe we tweak it and adjust it and go ahead. As I said, this course has never been the same twice, and as long as I'm teaching it, it probably never will be the same twice. But as I said earlier, sports, very dynamic world, but there are principles involved that we need to understand. What you're going to find is that a lot of the economic principles we talk about apply a little differently in the sport world, simply because the sport world itself is different. We think differently about it, we act differently about it, our passions come out a little bit differently, and I think it affects economic judgment, and we're going to talk about that and see it and see how it works. So again, welcome. I appreciate you taking the time to look at this. We're going to do this just about every week, and I am really looking forward to this, and I hope it goes as well as I would like it, and I hope you have an enjoyable time as well as an informative time. So that's kind of where I'm thinking of going. That's what we're going to do. That's how things work. Thanks very much.